What if the most extraordinary adventures weren't filled with dragons or battles, but hidden inside ordinary daily life? What if one sharp-minded, quietly rebellious young woman could completely change the lives of everyone around her simply by being herself? The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon, Volume 1, is a charming, witty, and deeply heartwarming story filled with humor, mystery, friendship, and personal growth. Set in 1883 England, the story follows Emma M. Lyon, a young woman living a very structured and carefully controlled life. Emma is intelligent, practical, independent, and incredibly observant. She values order, routine, and privacy, and she prefers books and quiet thinking over dramatic social events. At the beginning of the story, Emma's life seems fairly predictable. She works as a teacher at a girls' school and spends her days managing responsibilities while trying to maintain her carefully organized world. But everything begins to change when unexpected people start entering her life, especially her new neighbors. Suddenly, Emma finds herself surrounded by personalities she cannot easily control or understand. There are curious conversations, awkward social situations, mysterious visitors, and unexpected friendships that slowly pull her out of her comfort zone. One of the most enjoyable parts of the book is Emma herself. She's not the typical dramatic heroine. Instead, she's thoughtful, sarcastic, intelligent, and quietly funny. Much of the story's charm comes from her observations about the world around her. Her journal entries are filled with wit, honesty, and little details that make everyday life feel surprisingly entertaining. As Emma interacts with the people around her, the story slowly opens up into something much deeper than it first appears. Relationships begin to form, secrets begin to emerge, and Emma starts discovering parts of herself she's kept hidden for years. The novel beautifully explores themes of loneliness, connection, identity, and belonging. Emma has spent much of her life trying to remain emotionally distant, partly to protect herself and partly because she's never fully felt understood. But through her growing friendships and experiences, she slowly begins learning that vulnerability and connection can be just as important as independence. Another major strength of the story is its atmosphere. Beth Brower creates a world that feels cozy, intelligent, and alive. The historical setting adds elegance and charm without overwhelming the story. Instead of focusing heavily on dramatic historical events, the novel highlights everyday life, social dynamics, personal relationships, and emotional growth. The pacing of the book is gentle but incredibly engaging. Rather than relying on huge action scenes, the story pulls readers in through character interactions, emotional moments, humor, and subtle mysteries. It feels like stepping into a warm, carefully crafted world filled with fascinating people. One of the most touching parts of the novel is watching Emma slowly open her heart. At first, she approaches life with caution and emotional distance, but as the story progresses, she begins to trust others more, allowing friendship and compassion into her carefully protected world. The supporting characters also add tremendous depth to the story. Each person Emma encounters brings something unique, whether it's humor, mystery, warmth, or emotional insight. Their interactions feel natural and meaningful, making the world feel rich and believable. Another reason readers connect so strongly with this book is because of its emotional honesty. Even though the story is often funny and lighthearted, it also captures real feelings of insecurity, loneliness, and uncertainty. Emma's struggles feel relatable, even within the historical setting. The journal format gives the story a very personal feel, almost as though Emma is speaking directly to the reader. This creates a strong emotional connection and makes her journey feel intimate and authentic. Without giving too much away, the story gradually builds toward important emotional discoveries, not through dramatic twists, but through meaningful character development and growing relationships. By the end, Emma is not completely transformed into a different person, but she has clearly begun changing in beautiful and important ways. And that's one of the novel's greatest strengths. It understands that growth often happens quietly through small moments, conversations, and acts of kindness. At its core, the Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon, Volume 1, is a story about human connection. It reminds us that even people who seem reserved or distant often long to be understood and accepted. It's also a celebration of curiosity, intelligence, friendship, and joy in unexpected places. So, if you're ready to step into a beautifully written world filled with warmth, humor, mystery, and unforgettable characters, go ahead, find the full audiobook, press play, and experience the Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon, Volume 1 for yourself.